Information is power.
BS3 Network is now on Roku TV under BS3 TV. Download today. BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV. BS3 Network, changing the way you listen to podcasts.
It's the Information Man Show, everybody. Let's get ready. Tell the truth, everybody.
Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
What's up? What's up, everybody? Thank you for your patience. We're live, back in effect. Glad to be here, and we're going to get into it right now. You know, I've been covering this issue and talking about this issue about what's happening in Chicago with the whole migrant situation. Black folks are tired of being tied, and I'm going to be honest, whether it makes people uncomfortable or not, the Democratic Party, particularly in Chicago, has taken black people for granted. They have put black people have been put upon by this migrant situation of putting them in black communities without giving black people a notice. You had a situation where you had them trying to bring these migrants into a Chinese or an Asian, should I say, an Asian community. And it was reported that one of the aldermans, one of the Latina aldermans who is for the migrant situation in terms of giving them help, she was actually attacked by the Asian constituents in that community. And it's interesting, if it had been black people, and when she was attacked physically by them, she didn't press any charges, didn't even go to the hospital, said she was okay. But I just know if it was black people that would have done that, it would have been big time news. You know, it would have been plastered all over the place. These migrants, I'm telling you right now, I keep my ears to the streets, and it's very important to keep your ears to these streets, everybody, because, you know, I listen to a lot of WVON radio in Chicago. I hear what people are saying that live there. There's all sort of things that are taking place on the streets of beautiful Chicago that we need to be aware of, that we need to sound the alarm right now. Because I'm hearing that people's personal things are being taken, that migrants are snatching garbage cans from people's property. These are things that I'm hearing that's going on. Black America is tired of being tied, y'all. Black America is always being put upon. We've got black folks in Chicago that are saying that they're seeing migrants all over the damn street, backpacks, bicycles, riding around, like wondering who they are, where they're going. As I said before, there has been reports of people who have garbage cans that they have purchased as part of their house to dump their garbage, and that migrants have been going through the garbage cans. Matter of fact, been snatching the garbage cans away. This is what's been happening in Chicago as reported by those black people that I listen to weekly. I say 4 days a week on WVON, hearing what's going on in various parts of the community. You see, black people are tired. You see these beautiful black people up here right now, black women, black man, and black woman, which we need to stop fighting each other, battling one another. We need to come to some understanding about one another, that we have bigger fish to fry, and we have bigger enemies out here who are opposing upon us. I'm sick of what's happening in Chicago as black people are being marginalized on the edges of the streets in Chicago.
The truth.
The Democratic Party doesn't seem to give a damn. They come around for the black vote when it's time for election time, but then after they get the black vote, we don't hear nothing from them. You know that Joe, you know the usual suspects, the Joe Bidens of the world, who told us some years ago that if we didn't vote for him, we weren't black enough. If we don't vote for Joe Biden, we're not black enough. And of course, he got called out for that. And then, of course, what do you have? The what's that guy? Charlemagne. How can you call yourself Charlemagne and put the God in part as part of your name? And you get this white man that gets up there and tells you if black folks don't vote for him, they're not black enough, which was a complete insult, man. Brandon Johnson is now the mayor of Chicago. Lori Lightfish or Lightfoot, I mean Beetlejuice. Brandon Johnson against Paul Vilas, he won, and he said that he was going to be really hands-on, address black people's problems. There's a lot of issues that Brandon Johnson is not addressing right now in Chicago, as he has been sieged upon by these migrants. And now Brandon Johnson, along with this, I have to say, this do nothing community board or Altamans in Chicago, they should get rid of that dumb name. I really think that's a goofy name.
Tell the truth.
Altamans. What the hell? You got these special names, but yet you're not doing anything for the people who put your ass in office.
Tell
it just
the
don't
truth.
make sense, folks. Okay, so Brandon Johnson has not so far lived up to some of his pledges, particularly when it comes to black people. Brandon Johnson, just like a lot of these politicians, tell black people that we should be kind, we should be patient, we should have understanding and compassion. Compassion. Compassionate people that ever was born
Tell
and created
the
on
truth.
this God's green earth. We are patient. We are patient. We have been more than patient. People come into our communities from all different walks of life. We accept them. However, not many people will accept us in their communities. Just imagine if there were a lot of black immigrants or migrants who came over from Africa, maybe even Haitian migrants, like the Haitian migrants who came over from Mexico into, what was it, El Paso, Texas, down there in Texas, Waco, Texas, one of the two. And what did the Joe Biden administration do within a week? They swooped up all those black people that were Haitian. And by the way, America owes its forming as a country to the Haitians, because it was the Haitian Revolution against the French that made the French, made the French go broke. And therefore, the French had to sell off the Louisiana Purchase, which was the whole, and I say the whole middle half of the country. The whole middle half of the country sold off, pennies on the dollar, which allowed the United States to go from being just territories to forming themselves into a nation. Well, Haiti, the Haitians, had something to do with that when they conquered and pushed out the French, which Haiti is in a debt today to the French. Well, the Haitians came through, as I said before in previous videos, the Haitians came through Brazil due to the fact that they had that earthquake years ago. The United States even said that they were going to welcome Haitians in that were impacted by the earthquake, just the way they let the damn Ukrainians come in here, the Afghanistan, they let everybody come in here and get benefits. And when they come over to this country, guess what? They get all kind of benefit packages. They get housing, all sorts of things. Next thing you know, they'll be opening up a business in a black community near you. And when we walk in their store to purchase something, which I wish we would stop doing this, we'll purchase something and they will look us up and down like we are the criminal. When we go in the store spending our good God's earned money to support their business, they'll be looking at us like we're criminals, looking at your kids like they're criminals. And then you say, God damn it, I've been here all my life as a black person. We got generation after generation. Our blood is literally in the soil. No other group in this country can claim that as we can. Black people's blood is literally in the soil because we were the ones working those fields, picking that cotton, what have you, the cotton bale. And they will come over here, get a business, open it up because they're getting support from the government. Yet we'll have people that will sit up here and tell us, well, black people, you guys have been here for quite some time. Why can't y'all do like these immigrants? These immigrants that come over here get special programs set aside for them to help them get on top of their feet. And when they get on top of their feet, they'll be looking at us like we're like we're less than, right? And it's like, damn, you just got here yesterday. We've been here all our damn lives, built this goddamn country, built it at its very foundation. Black people black people in this country who are foundational to America have fought in every war, Revolutionary War. Hell, we even got black people that fought in the Spanish-American War.
Tell the truth.
Civil War, Revolutionary War, no other group. And other people can come over here and get all kind of set-asides. You've got black people at 53 or somewhere between 50% homeless in Chicago. The migrants come and they get anything, everything they want. They get tents like this. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Tell the truth.
Whereas the black, they get these tents supplied to them. The black people who are homeless in Chicago who may have a tent, they get moved and displaced all around, or they have no tent, no nothing to sleep in. Now, these are some of the migrants outside the Chicago Police Department laying all around. Look, they got bicycles. Where they get the bicycles from? Are they giving bicycles to homeless black people in Chicago? They have Brandon Johnson, along with the democratic system that runs Chicago, didn't give black people fair warning, taking buildings and condemned schools and condemned facilities that were promised to black people to be turned into community centers and such. And you say, no, we're going to give them to these migrants, let them live in the dwellings. These people came over here of their own free will based on whatever the issues were that they had, they claimed to us, right? And the fact of the matter is there's no guarantee. There's never any guarantee that if you make a move like they made.
Tell the truth.
Folks, use some logic here. Do you really believe that these folks walked all the way through the jungles of South America, all through the jungles and the wooded areas of Central America into Mexico, very dangerous territory, and they walked through there with kids, with slippers on their feet? Come on now. You know somebody gave them an extra drive over. What I'm here to tell you today, tonight, and I want to shout out to Phil, the Vice Show, or Phil, because the very videos that I'm going to show you, the very presentation that I'm going to give you, Phil put this sort of presentation on his channel. So shout out to him. Video that I'm going to show you, he's shown this video. It inspired me to say, wait, look, I'm going to go over this too with my audience, but I'm going to come at it from my own angle. Because like Phil, we in the social media variety, we're the ones that's putting out the real signals, the real information to the people, not these mainstream news outlets. They're not going to tell you the truth. You're going to get the truth over here.
Tell the truth.
Whether you like it or not. The Democrats want to push this narrative that you got to vote. Oh, this is the most important election in 2024 than ever before. They've sang that song before. They sung that song in 2023. South Carolina put Joe Biden over the top. He gets in office. And then we say, what do black people get? Now, we witness from Joe Biden's administration, we witnessed that there was assaults that were taking place on the Asian community. They spent no time, no expense at preparing a crime bill specifically tailored to the Chinese community. Okay. Now, many people would say, no, that was for everybody. No, it's not. If you look at the bill and you pull it up online, it is latently for the Asian community. Okay, that's good. They were being attacked. Things were happening to them. But then you look at the black community, you look at the black family, black child, black man, black woman, and you say, okay, technically, black people in America are actually the most at danger of being harassed. If you look at the statistics, black people still in America in the 21st century are still the most harassed. We deal with the racism, we deal with the bigotry, we deal with the stereotypes more than anybody else. Black people are actually attacked more than any other group, and there is no crime bill specifically tailored to black people. Undisclosed, unnamed. Thank you for the $5 super chat. And let me put you right there. $5 super chat, undisclosed, unnamed. It's free enterprise. Unfortunately, they can make more money off poor migrants who don't know what right. You're absolutely right, which is why I'm going to bring you some video footage today that will knock your socks off, because remember the last video that I did, everybody, what's going on, Brother Keith, West, Jill's Chocolate Boutique, Empress Goddess, Cartel, I see you, Narratives, my man, Narratives and Dialogue, Cat 007. Remember in my last presentation, ladies and gentlemen, I talked about right now, the black people in Chicago are in the midst of suing the city of Chicago because there were various programs and buildings that were supposed to be set aside for black people in their communities, and now they've gone against it. So they're filing a lawsuit. That was the other video that I did about that. This is a big series I'm doing here because this thing keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So that was one issue. Now what's happening is that the black people in Chicago are going after there's a company in Chicago. Somebody's getting rich off the migrant situation. Someone is getting rich off these migrants being all over the place in Chicago. Someone's getting rich off at the expense of black people being what? Set aside, set upon, put upon, should I say, is the proper thing I should be saying here. Black people are being put upon in Chicago and being burdened with a problem that is not their problem. I put these pictures up because these are the type of black people that you can see in Chicago with kids. They are putting these migrants ahead of, what do you see on this picture in all three pictures? What's significant about it? You've got man and black woman, black man with black children, black woman with black child or black son. These are kids in Chicago and across this nation are the ones that's losing out. Resources that our kids need, resources that we pay taxes on, that these people can come over here, file for asylum or ask for asylum. And first of all, they're walking around the streets of Chicago. God does not know. We don't even know really how many of these people are actually criminals in their country, actually wanted for heinous crimes. How many of them have done things with underage, you know what? How many of them are just simply running away from their criminal commitments that they're supposed to be in jail? And then, of course, there are those that are coming over here for asylum. But what about the people who take the time to fill out the paperwork and wait years for asylum or for citizenship into this country? For these people to come over, and this is the reason why this is the problem. Again, I said it in many other videos. Right now, Chicago is a sanctuary city, and many of the people in Chicago want that to be stripped away from Chicago. Why would you make yourself a sanctuary city, Chicago, San Francisco, LA, and many others, New York, when you already have a dire strait problem socially with the people that are citizens that you are responsible for too? But you make yourself a sanctuary city and you open up a Pandora's box, which you have in Chicago right now. It's a damn shame. If you're with me, ladies and gentlemen, if you're hearing the presentation, put those sevens in the chat room. Get the algorithms cranking over here. Now, let me go ahead and give you first part of my presentation, but let me give you a reminder. So you got Brandon Johnson. Look, I'm going to be honest with you all out there. He's the mayor. So I give him some blame for this because why don't you stop the buses, Brandon Johnson? You're already saying that Chicago is struggling, paying millions of dollars for these migrants. Why don't you tell those buses when they come into Chicago, hell no, nobody's getting off the bus, turn that bus around and take them right back. Why don't y'all do that in Chicago? Chicago's a Democratic city and Democrats are failing black people, which is why what's happening right now, ladies and gentlemen, in the word on the streets right now, words on the streets, is that black people are losing their patience and are considering not voting for the Democratic Party in these upcoming elections, particularly the Joe Biden presidential election. Black people are sick and tired of being sick and tired, and there's already polls out there and stats out there that show that black people on these YouTube streets and on these real streets, like you see the street up there, are saying, you know what, we're not getting nothing for our vote, so why should I vote? That's what's going on. That's what's going on, folks, in these streets. Now, you would say this is what you're going to hear Democratic shills and all these people say, and I want you to decode it right now. This is what they use to put a guilt trip on black people when it comes to expecting us to vote Democratic. And don't get me wrong, the Republicans ain't shit either. Or should I say the Republican clan, along with the Democrats. Now, this is what they do. This is what black people will do to us. This is what other people will say to us. This is what the Democratic shills will say, and the Democratic machine will say to us. Well, your people died for you to have the vote. Black people died for you to be able to vote. No. We need to stop saying that because that's not actually true. You see, black people are our ancestors. They didn't die for us just to vote. They died for black people to have freedom. They simply believed or thought that voting would be a means to freedom.
Tell the truth.
Our people didn't die just for a vote. They died because they wanted us to have freedom. Not a goddamn vote. Because the last time I checked, there was a time in this country when they didn't allow black people to vote, black man, black woman. Hell, they didn't even let women vote. And even when they didn't let us vote, black people still were able to create their own communities like Rosewood, like Tulsa, Oklahoma, and many other communities. We were able to create communities even when society didn't include us. You know, people want to stereotype black people and say, oh, black people, you guys are the ones that are on welfare. No, we're not. White people are on welfare more than anyone in this country.
Tell the truth.
Go do the research. White folks are utilizing welfare and all this shit more than even black people. Because remember, when the welfare programs were created under Roosevelt, if I'm not mistaken, most of these social programs like Social Security, right, that they created, and particularly these programs that they have today, black people were not allowed to apply for any of these welfare programs. You got corporate welfare too, right? So people don't know the history, and they should shut their mouth up. This is Information Man. I'm gonna give you the truth.
Tell the truth.
White people were the only ones allowed to benefit from the welfare systems and all these programs that came out of FDA's Roosevelt's administration. Black people were not allowed. It wasn't until later on down the line with civil rights and all this sort of stuff that black people were able to be included or at least be allowed to apply for these programs. Let's just set the record straight. So black people have always survived as best as they could historically under bad conditions, even when you didn't have the damn vote. So stop sitting up here talking this crap about black people. Our ancestors died simply for us to vote. No, they died because they died for us to have freedom. Now, I want y'all to see what I got to show you here.
Tell the truth.
And I want to say shout out to Phil because his video inspired me. Some of you might have seen this already. Some of you might have not seen this. But when I play these series of videos, I want you to please put in the chat room a 7 if you have seen this before. An 8 if you've never seen it before, what I'm about to show you. Here is the first footage. This is out of Chicago. And you're going to hear what the sister is saying, as it also relates to the fact that black people are really, really not feeling the Joe Biden administration. Don't believe and don't take what these talking heads on CNN, MSNBC, and even Fox propaganda channel
Tell the truth.
Tell you. Most of these folks on these TV shows, they don't have the pulse of the black community. They're not walking the streets in the black community. Most of us on these social media platforms, we have a better sense of what the black community is talking about than they do. Listen to this right here, folks.
Let's talk about the money that is being spent. I think that there needs to be a federal audit against the company that we have contracted out to take care of the migrants. We have nurses that are being paid $64,000 a month. We have security officers that are being paid as much as $24,000
Deborah
a
Guns,
month.
good to see you, sister.
We have home health care workers that are being paid up to $17,000 a month. You don't think that Chicagoans could have benefited from that? We have citizens in this city that have been on the waiting list for affordable housing for years.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, do you hear what she is saying there? Do you dig? Do you really hear what this sister is saying there? Come on now, let's really understand what we are hearing. She's saying that you've got black folks that have been waiting a year for housing. You've got companies that are getting rich. Somebody is getting rich off the migrant situation. Somebody's getting rich off putting black people to the side. Do y'all hear? If y'all hear it, put them sevens in the chat room. We're going to talk about it today. This is some deep shit here. Let's continue. I'm going to move it back just a little bit because it was powerful what she was saying. Listen.
I don't think that Chicagoans could have benefited from that. We have citizens in this city that have been on the waiting list for affordable housing for years, and migrants have been bumped in front of them. We have people who have been given up to $9,000 a month for housing assistance. That amount of money can be life-changing for some families here in the city of Chicago. We are not anti-migrant with them. But what I am is I am pro-black. I am for my people who have been mistreated, who have been marginalized, who have been disrespected. And it is disrespectful for people to expect us to give up our parks and our schools and places in our community for others. We're not saying that there's not room here, but what we are saying is that we are not going to step aside for you to accommodate them when you have continued to leave us out of the equation. So I'm not just talking to Brandon Johnson right now. I'm talking to Governor Pritzker, and I'm talking to President Biden. And I want you to understand that as we run into this upcoming political year, where the Democratic Party is on the menu.
Wait a minute. Let me put some information in it. Hear what she's saying? I'm going to repeat what Phil said on his show. These talking points are the talking points that many of us on social media, like myself, things that we've been saying. But these fools in mainstream media want to tell you, oh, don't listen to us. We don't know what we're talking about. We're out of touch. Oh, everything is just fine. No. There's some problems, folks. There's some problems. There's a lot of black people that are pulling away from Democratic or considering pulling away from Democratic Party. And we know that black women are the biggest voting bloc of the Democratic Party. But what they do to black women is that they get you with emotions. They put a Kamala Harris on the ticket, which I'm sorry, folks, Kamala Harris doesn't sway anything. Her ratings are very poor. They get black women with the emotions. They emotionally play you. Black men, we're using our logic and we're saying, nah, there's other alternatives, right? There's other alternative. Now, you may say, well, is the Republicans are terrible too. Let's just keep it real. And remember, all government is local anyway. You really should be really heavily looking at what's happening in your local government because your local government impacts you first before the national government gets to you, but they both will get to you. Now, I'm not sitting up here beating no Donald Trump horn because Donald Trump is a piece of garbage and he's a man who has over 80-something indictments. He should be in jail. That's for sure.
Tell the truth.
But you can also make the argument that maybe even Joe Biden should be in jail. Many of these politicians should be in jail. They're all running games. There's people in Chicago, those damn politicians in Chicago, those damn Altamans. And there's people in that Brandon Johnson administration. Somebody's getting paid off this migrant situation. These private companies coming in and trying to reconstruct tents and tent cities. The companies that are going to come in and rebuild the schools for shelters for them. Somebody is benefiting from this. Somebody wants this to continue at the expense of black people in Chicago. Because the reason why I bring up black people in Chicago, because black people in Chicago are the ones that are being impacted the most because the migrants are being put in their communities the most. The Asians already said they're not taking it. And of course, you know, white folks in Chicago, they don't want them either. But they seem to find a way to keep shoving them on black people. Oh, black people, come on, take this on, take that on. Take everything on your damn shoulders. Getting back to it now, folks.
People of Chicago, of Illinois, and of the United States, it is time for us as black people to stop voting party.
Right.
It is time for us to stop voting color. It is time for us to start voting our self-interest. And if the Democrats in the city of Chicago, the state of Illinois, and the country of USA refuses to listen to us, then it is time for us to start looking at other alternatives.
Right.
People, we are looking at other alternatives. We will not step aside and continue to be mistreated. We will not continue to be disrespected. I'm looking at people who are coming here from another country, giving work visas, giving social security cards. Nobody is asking them what walk of life that they come from.
Did you hear what she said, folks? They're getting social
Tell
security
the
cards.
truth.
They're getting all types of set-asides, and nobody's asking them
Tell the
where
truth.
exactly they come from, what's their deal. They're getting all sort of stuff. You got black folks right now in Chicago that are living on the streets poor, who are told you better wait. She just said earlier in what she said earlier in her presentation that you've got black folks in Chicago who have been waiting for housing, people that are down on their luck, been waiting for housing for over a year. These migrants come in within this year and they're getting all sort of benefits. You got these Ukrainians and other groups of people. And with this war that you got going on in Israel, you know that the Israelis will be over here and they'll be dropped in some of our communities. But we won't know about that because you know why we won't know about those people? Because they won't be put on the streets. They will simply be given housing ahead of our people. They will simply be given opportunity ahead of our people. They will get government programs and subsidies that when black people and other poor people in this country get these subsidies, now people want to say, oh, come on, that's welfare. But you don't say that when all these other groups are getting it. Our reparations, too, when it comes to reparations for black people, I've already said this before. All you got to do is look at the money that they're giving to Israel. Look at the money that they're giving to the Ukrainian war, proxy war for the United States. Look at all these billions and billions of dollars. And when they tell me and you, when we say, hey, what about reparations? What about programs for the poor, for the youth? They say we got to have a study to figure out about it. A goddamn. Let's get back to it.
You don't think that our brothers who have been in prison, who have come out and who have changed their lives will benefit for the same opportunities that we're giving these migrants?
Right.
And I'm not saying that they don't deserve those opportunities.
No, actually, sister, I disagree with you. They don't deserve them because they haven't paid any dues for them. Black people have paid a heavy price in this country, and citizens in Chicago have paid a price that go to work hard, pay their taxes, what have you. So when you say, well, you're not saying they don't deserve it. No, they don't deserve it because they ain't paying no taxes. See, there's not one migrant. Let me just keep it real with y'all.
Tell the truth.
There is no migrants, as Phil said on his show as well. There are no migrants that have voted for any of these politicians in Chicago or anybody for president in this world. Black people put Biden's raggedy ass in office. Black people put all them damn politicians, particularly those Democratic politicians in Chicago, all in office. There's not one migrant that will get all these benefits over black people that are struggling in Chicago that have put any of these people in office. Not one vote, not nada. And y'all tell us that black people died for the vote. So if black people died for the vote, why should we be set aside from a group of people who we don't even know who they are, what their real story is, and then they get benefits over our people when y'all tell us that we should vote because our people died for the vote. Ain't that a damn you know what? You got to cry to keep from. Let's get back to it.
But what I am saying is we deserve them first. What I am saying is you can't continue to put us on the back burner and think that we're going to continue to be okay with it. We've done that for long enough. And what we're saying here today is that
Reckless says it's a slap in the face. I totally concur. It is a complete slap in the face. It's a slap in the face. Reckless, you are on the money as always. We are paying for these opportunities with our tax dollar. Right. Reckless, just so you know, you may say, hey, information man, why you keep talking about this issue? This one is a different set from the other ones I did because this one is around the fact that black people, I think black people are going to hold their votes in this election. Joe Biden and the Democratic Party are going to pay the price. This is what this is about. I'm going to show you an incredible video that's going to put it all together for you as well. But I'm playing this because a lot of these black folks from Chicago in this video are talking just like her about the voting and why we are voting for these Democrats when we get A, B, and C. That's why I'm pushing this narrative with this one today, Reckless. Let's get back to the presentation.
that is no longer acceptable. We're saying to our city, we're saying to our governor that you're not going to continue to set monies aside for people who don't live here and disrespect, mistreat, and forget about us. You've forgotten about us. You have treated us as if we don't matter. And we're saying to you, you're not going to continue to do this. We're saying to you to see us. You're dumping people into our communities who are going to at some point move us out of the way.
Right. She is so factually true about that. Reps said this. Yep, these migrants don't have a wage requirement like us citizens have. We make too much to qualify, but not enough to afford the rent. You damn Skippy right.
Tell the truth.
Let's get back. Thank you, Reps.
Say to you, if you want a glimpse into what's going to happen, look at how people of color are being treated in Venezuela right
now. I don't like the term people of color for a variety of reasons because we're not people
Tell
of color.
the truth.
See, when you say that word, you kind of put us all in a bag with all these other people who come over here with the anti-black sentiments towards us, because this is exactly what she's about to see, what she's about to say. She's talking about when you look at Venezuela, how black people are treated in Latin America across the board. They're not treated very well. And black people were brought into slavery in Venezuela. What she's saying here is correct. Let's hear it right now.
who are going to at some point move us out of the way. And what I say to you, if you want a glimpse into what's going to happen, look at how people of color are being treated in Venezuela right now. We seem to forget that Venezuela was one of the first places that had African slaves that they were taken to. We're forgetting about that.
Facts.
And so we're
Facts.
forgetting that there are blacks in Venezuela who are being treated the same way we are. And so for us to expect that they're going to come here
Facts.
and be put into our society and treat us differently is a pipe dream.
Facts.
Tell the truth.
It's facts what she was saying there, everybody. I just want you all to, if you're with the presentation so far, put those ones in the chat room. We've got Beverly Palmer's in the house. We've got MZ. We got MZ, Kim, Bling, Bar, and more. If for the ladies in the chat room, if you like jewelry, you like beautiful necklaces, check out that sister channel. Subscribe. She does a great job of presenting her beautiful jewelry and wares over there for you to purchase. And also thank you, M. Kim, Bling, Bar, and more. Thank you for coming over to the sports channel today. I was live earlier this morning on the Prime Sports Media channel. That platform is doing really good. So y'all make sure y'all check that out if you're interested in football, sports. It's mostly featured around the issues that's going on at Colorado with Coach Prime, Shador, and his team and players there. So check that one out if you like. I did a video, dropped that earlier this morning. Channel's doing very well. let's get back to the main ingredient of the content. If you're feeling what I'm saying, put those 7s, 1s, whatever you like. If you're feeling what where the presentation is going, we've got my man, Brother Rob, who is in Chicago. Brother Rob, please let us know in the chat room. And everybody, I want you to pay attention to what Brother Rob writes in the chat room, because he is from Chicago, as well as Sister Alicia, if she's here. But he is from Chicago. He's a teacher in the Chicago school, so he knows exactly what's going on when it came to Ron Emanuel shutting those schools down, the very schools that they want to now say to black people, hey, we're going to give it to the migrants, when you might have promised that some of these schools or buildings were going to be created into educational centers or community centers for the community. But Brother Rob, make it be known about this situation in Chicago. And people definitely take heed to what he writes in the chat room, because he is from there and knows directly on the ground what is going on. We've got Golden Melanin, who's come in the house. Thank you for being here. Alicia is in the house. Earl Owens is here. Thank you. She's from Chicago. She knows what's going on. She's on ground level as well. And I'm going to say this again. Last time I did this presentation, black people in Chicago, there's a group of black folks that are going to sue the city of Chicago, right? But you also have black people in Chicago that are calling for a lawsuit to find out and get a disclosure as to how much money is really being spent on this migrant situation. Who are the companies that are making the most money? Who are the politicians that are making money off of this too? You see. I'm glad you're here, sister. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. We got to do it. Yeah. Thank you for dropping that in there. Belly Palmer's here. Everybody's here. Patora Africa is in the house. Patora Africa, how you doing, my sister? Clap to you. Patora. I'm glad you're here. J.A. George Fraser, what's going on, brother? Clap to you. Alan Christian, thank you for being here. Loco Tina 143, I want to thank you for coming over and still rocking with the platform, you know. And check this out. Sometimes we can have a difference of opinion about things, and it's okay to have a difference of opinion, right? We all have different experiences and what have you, but I welcome your commentary, and you're welcome here, and good to see you in the chat room. So thank you for coming on over and joining the chat today. What I'm going to say here is that I understand that there are people who come from other countries for asylum and they want opportunity. But what we're really simply saying is that while you give other people opportunity, should it come at the expense of black people in Chicago who have been put upon? The politicians are lying to black people. Now, is that the fault of the migrants? No, I'm not saying it's the migrants' fault. But at the same time, as a citizen of this country, all priority should go to those citizens first, or at least citizens should be made aware of what you're about to do to their community and how it impacts your community and how it impacts resources. Because Chicago, as I said before, about 50-something% of the homeless population in Chicago is black. And when those black people were living on the streets and needed help, you didn't see the Chicago government or any of the damn government rush to the aid of those black folks the way they've done with the migrants. That's what I'm saying. Something is just not right here. And that's because they just don't have much respect for black people. They never have had respect for us. They've never have treated us properly. Rob says this in the chat room: I teach and coach. We have active discussions in my classroom, though. Hey, Rob, that's good, brother. That's good. That's healthy. He's a teacher. He coaches. He's on point. That's a good brother right there. He's been rocking with the channel for many years now. Deborah Gunn is in the house. Good to see you. You say it's the government's fault. I say you're hitting on something there. Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
That's my man, Keith West. Thank you for coming over. And when we got Empress Goddess in the house as well. And then we got, let me see one more. We got the Tribulation Kid. What's going on, brother? He's a good brother. He's in Vegas. Check him out. Very talented brother. Check out his YouTube channel. Tribulation Kid. Check out his YouTube channel. Great stuff over there. I want to read one more thing that Reckless was saying here. This immigrant crisis is brutally anti-American. Interesting point. What's going on, Earl Owens? All right. Now let's get back to the other videos. I got more juicy stuff to show you as we move along in the presentation. Here is another sister in Chicago speaking out and speaking up. Check this out.
The two from here, we have a relative that was murdered. I'm standing here with my family, and we are demanding. We are not asking anyone for anything. We are demanding that resources come to the black community. We are no longer asking. Black people are the most loving, the most accepting, the most honorable people.
Didn't I say that?
Yeah. We are people of dignity.
Didn't I just say that earlier on? That has been an element of the black community that many people want to sleep on. What she just said.
Yes. Many of us have followed the rules. Yes. Have done what we were told is the right thing. Yeah. But we keep getting overlooked. Come on. And our children and the youth keep getting overlooked. Come on. And it's past time that it stops. This is ridiculous. We are citizens. We are citizens of the city. We are still dealing with violence. We are dealing with health crisis. We're dealing with high levels of unemployment. We can run the whole gamut, and every time that there's a list of negative things, we're at the top of the list. But when it's a list of good things, positive things, we're at the bottom of the list. Come on. Or you can say the front of the line or the back of the line. We're not standing here begging for anything. We say no when it's time to vote the budget for any additional resources other than for the black community. We say no. What do we say? No. What do we say? No. We say no. No. We say absolutely not. Not as long as we still have to bury our children. Come on. How is it that we're going to talk about the future of children, and I get that children are children, but how are we going to talk about the future of one set of children and bury the other set? And the ones that are being buried are the descendants and the offspring, children of the citizens. It makes no sense. And we're talking to the aldermen and anyone else that have anything to do with the vote. We say no. We demand the resources now. And you know what? This ain't the first press conference. We understand that. And you probably don't even take what we say as serious. But you know what? Action speaks louder than words. Action speaks louder than words. We are sick and tired of being sick and tired. So we are standing here. We are standing here on behalf of our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren. And you know what? We look in the eyes of our children every day. Every day. We look in the eyes of our people every single day. Every day. Don't tell me about how you looked in the eyes of somebody. I don't care about that. We look in their eyes every day. And yes, I'm upset. I have dedicated my life working with children and youth. And if I can't stand up for them, then You can sign an executive order on anything else. Sign the order, whatever is needed, whatever's necessary to bring the resources to the black community.
Tell the truth.
I thought that she was completely correct in her assessment. Let's go to the next one right here.
I want to make a couple of comments before I ask my questions. People are pissed because we are allowing the situation to get out of hand and we haven't taken care of our own. So let's talk about when England.
That's a very important point.
Tell the truth.
That we've allowed a situation with the migrant situation in Chicago has gotten out of hand. There's a problem in New York as well. The federal government run under the leadership of the Joe Biden administration hasn't done a damn thing to assist these cities when these cities' mayors have asked for help. I think Brandon Johnson went to Washington, D.C. just this past week, and I don't know if anything came out of it of any substance. But yet Joe Biden and the Democratic Party, they're going to start putting ads on radio, ads all over the damn place to convince our people that we need to get out and vote for them again. Yet they're not even anywhere talking about this situation. Where is the Congressional Black Caucus? All those black folks on that caucus, why are they not talking? Why are they not unifying under one flag to try to talk about this issue? You don't hear anybody in that Washington, D.C. talk. All you hear them talking about was what's happening in Ukraine, what's happening between the Palestinians and Israel, which those folks have been fighting each other since biblical time. That's all you hear them talking about. While taking our tax dollars. Let's continue.
Took the people in from the coast and the city threw the tents away, but now we can't spend $30 million on the tent. Let's talk about the homeless people who wanted to be in the police stations, but they weren't allowed. Or were put out at a certain time.
Right.
And so y'all made.
Woo! Did you just hear
Tell
what,
the
did you just
truth.
hear what she said? Didn't they put the migrants out near the police station? Let me show you this again. Look at this picture. The migrants are all over the, look, they're outside the police station. They're inside the police station. You got tents, you got bicycles, you got a whole mess out here. Chicago, what does it say right there, folks, on the thumbnail? Chicago Police Department. That sister right there that you're hearing talking, she's an ultimate. She's a real one. She's for the community that she represents. But she just said just a minute ago,
Tell the truth.
when you have homeless people in Chicago that are black as well, they weren't willing to open up the police department and make it hospitable for the black people and other people in Chicago that are homeless, but they somehow made it hospitable to allow the migrants to sleep in the police station and even sleep outside the station and make a mess out here. But when it comes to those people that are citizens that are homeless, that might have paid taxes at one point in time, you got no love for them. That's what she's saying, folks. This is really, this is real. Let me let you hear that again. Hear that very closely.
Or were put out at a certain time.
Right.
And so y'all making special accommodations for folks.
I
So
mentioned
y'all see how
that.
the community
See, I
is
mentioned
fixed.
that.
And young lady, I just want to say thank you. Because faith
I want to move this back again. Hear this again.
to be in the police stations, but they weren't allowed. Or were put out at a certain time.
Right.
And so y'all making special accommodations for
See,
folks.
I
So y'all
mentioned
can see
that.
how the community
See, I
is
mentioned
fixed.
that.
And young lady, I just want to say thank you. Because faith really need to be kicked out and they shouldn't have been hired in the first place. And so I'm confused how we still use it. And y'all keep justifying paying this $30 million to this contact because the savings of paying. JR, me and JR don't always agree, but he truly came up with a veteran-owned black business that wants to hire people in our community. Because as much money as we spend, how much are we really recycling in our own community?
Thank you.
If we was recycling, we were hiring our own people. Y'all think I believe in favor? No. Because they was part of the last administration that snuck and started up damn shelters in the ward. And I'm confused how everybody ain't taking shelters. That's a big problem for me. People get to, when it was happening in 20, Andre, I'll give you that. Byron and Collins, that's what I'm getting to. There are a few people who said, no, this is wrong. But the thought that
we still give it to the same people, and not everybody is BS.
Ladies and gentlemen, do you hear what the sister is saying? She's an alternate
Tell
out there in
the
Chicago.
truth.
She told it like it is, told the truth. The truth sometimes is very hard for
Tell the
people to
truth.
deal with, for people to figure out, people to want to get cozy up with, because it makes you feel uncomfortable. And I'm sure this presentation today is making some people uncomfortable, but it is the truth.
Tell the truth.
You
And
are listening
cannot
to
be denied.
Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
Thank you. Subscribe to the Information Man Show. Definitely. I go live like this on Sundays. I would definitely appreciate that. The Joe Biden administration is in trouble, y'all. We've been hearing about this. Folks have been talking about this on these YouTube streets. This shit is very real. On these YouTube streets, it's getting really real with people bringing this commentary to reality. You're hearing the statistics. You're seeing mainstream news talk about this. They're in trouble. There are a lot of black people that are dissatisfied with this administration. And let you play this. Let me play this next. This is a issue around reparations that plays into what's exactly going on down there in Chicago. Check this out.
Damn shame. I bet you when reparations come up to vote, it better be yay, just like this. When reparations come up to vote, I'm ready to get kicked out now.
Brandon
When
Johnson out there.
reparations hit this vote, y'all better turn it off. We sick of all y'all putting us on the back burner. We don't matter. These are our tax dollars. I'm ready.
Folks, what you're hearing is pure anger, pure emotion. Black people are tired of being sick and tired in Chicago, but it's not just Chicago. You've got
Tell
black people
the truth.
all over this country that feel the same way that they feel in Chicago. Let's get back to it.
I'm ready to go. These are our tax dollars being used to free everybody else except black people. You sending our money to Ukraine, to Mexico.
And they don't even let black women in their borders, FYI, in the Ukraine. Homeless black women can't get through the borders in the Ukraine, and we send money there.
I tell you I'm going there.
Now, what you're hearing there
Tell
is that
the
a sister
truth.
is saying that we're sending money to the Ukraine when there are black people who can't get out of the border down there, right? Black people that are stuck over there who can't get out. Remember, when the Ukrainian war broke out, they were very racist towards the Africans who were trying to get back to Africa that were students in the Ukraine, right? Nobody wants to talk about that. Our dollars are going over there, yet they don't even treat our own people property. You're going to hear them talk about Mexico, how you've got all this sex trafficking in Mexico, women being snatched up in Mexico, and the Mexican government is not doing anything about it. And she said that people who are Mexican here in this country are not speaking out about the issues of that in their country and say, hey, we're letting people come into this country from across the border when they've got issues that's not being addressed. And like I said, most of the migrants in Chicago and even in New York that are coming over here, see, the media wants to paint the picture that it's all women and children. That's not true. There are some women and children that are coming over, but the majority of the people that's coming over here are men, working age men. You have to ask yourself, why are they fleeing? Is it that they're just being prosecuted by their government? Is it that they could be criminals? Are they also coming over here because they're part of the cartel and they want to run a game to bring the stuff in, right? Like I said, you got black people in Chicago right now that are saying that you got migrants out there stealing off of their property, taking their garbage cans, driving around with their bikes in the backpack that's been given to them. You got migrants out there getting high in the streets, pissing on the wall, all sorts of things that are going on that the mainstream media doesn't want to talk to you about. But I'm willing to talk to you about it because I hear it on WVON in Chicago on the radio station where people call it and they're telling us the disastrous things that some of these migrants are doing. Now, does that mean that all migrants are bad, that they don't have a legitimate situation? I'm not saying that, but there are certainly some that are causing problems. And I hear on a daily basis people in Chicago who call the radio show and specifically talk about experiences that they're having in their own damn house, on their own damn property, things being stolen, them getting in their yard, all sorts of crazy things.
Tell the truth.
Y'all are so lost. It's not even funny. It's not even
We
funny.
sick of it. Children coming up missing on the border, and Mexicans don't even talk about it.
Boom. Children coming up missing over the border, and she says, and Mexicans don't even really talk about it.
Y'all won't even tell the president to close the border. Close it. Y'all sorry as hell up here. You are sorry. Sorry as hell. You let children be murdered and raped and sex trafficked on the border.
So they're very upset.
Tell the truth.
Here's Brandon Johnson getting a good lesson from a very legendary brother out there in Chicago. Listen to him talk. The alphabet code.
And they get no minimum wage. They got a whip on their black age. I'm not using profanity with you Asians. I got a cold alphabet for you. So, with you in the orange, you black, I want you to get minimum wage in all kind of ways. But these other people coming over, I want them to get nothing but transportation. Back to Venezuela, back to Mexico, back to the Ukraine. This will perhaps be a civil war. Black people, you never been free. When you got your 40 acres and so-called mule, did you get it? No. The emancipation.
I want to say this right here. Brother Rob, I want you to tell me something. From what I understand, they say that brother's a legend in Chicago. You said that's brother, let's put it up here. Let's put it up here. Let's take this off of here. You said you love Brother Garvey's passion. Brother Rob, tell us about Brother Garvey. I think he's an artist. I think he had an outfit on. It looked like it was a jacket and pants. It had like that art paint on it. Is he a famous or a great artist in Chicago? But he really tells the truth. I'm going to get back to what he's saying, but let us know, Rob, what the brother is about. And everybody definitely pay attention to Brother Rob. He's from Chicago. The brother that you've been listening to is an older gentleman. They see him as a legend in Chicago.
Where did you go? Right back to the plantation again under a sharecropper. So you have never been free in America. Racism, America hates you. America discriminates against you. America abuses you. So this is why the ancient gods of Africa, we have our own God, Miss Jeanette, that's praying, that's going to watch over us. And we will overcome one day. But not when we have elected officials that sell us out,
Jeff Johnson,
that do not even bring up illegal immigrants. Something is wrong with black people. You put them here. And another thing, this young lady was talking about the machine, the Democratic machine. The Democrats try a little timidly. Oh, bad Trump's a racist. Bad is too.
Sure is.
Bad is too.
Yep.
The whole system. All these people, these black ones, these white ones, these Hispanic Asians, they're all a member of a clique, a Democratic machine. And when they do something, watch them today, they all gonna say, That's rubber stamp. And you know what you can do for Mr.
Tell the truth.
All right. Jeff, John, hey, Tina, I'm going to say this to you right now, local Tina. I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm going to tell you this respectfully. Stop leaving these laughing, funny, little laugh logos in the chat room. This ain't funny. Nothing about this situation is funny. Stop leaving it. Don't play. Don't play with my channel over here. You will be out of here in a hot minute. I know what you're doing. I'm picking up on your slideness. Don't do it. Don't put those laughing emojis in there because this ain't no laughing matter. So I'm telling you, this is your last warning. Anybody, if you see her put any laughing emojis in this chat room, ban her forever. And I don't care how you feel about it. Don't play with this channel. Don't play with this issue. Now, I was really respectful to you when you came over and said, hey, yeah, we have difference of opinion, but you're not giving an opinion. You're laughing. You're trying to marginalize the real situation by putting laughing emojis in the chat room when I don't see anybody doing that, because this ain't a laughing matter. So you got one last chance. Do not put any laughing emojis and watch whatever smart things you say in there. And if she doesn't, if she continues, ban her forever. And that's just the way it's going to be.
Tell the truth.
Period. Jeff Johnson, 357, Chicago has fallen to a progressive socialism. The Great Reset is here. Yeah, we need a reset, but I'm going to tell you something real quick, my brother. The Democrats are horrible. Black people have been voting for them for years, and what do we get out of it at this point in time, right? I'm talking about at this time, not in yesteryears, right? But then let's keep this in mind and keep this in perspective. The Republican clan, or the Republicans, they are no better either, because they are all for big business and corporations, period. They don't care about the people. Democrats don't care about the people. They're both the same. One screws you with Vaseline, that's Democrats. One screws you without Vaseline and said, did you like it? That's Republicans.
Tell the truth.
This is the truth. I got another video to show y'all. Patora Afro. Let me say that correct. Patora Afro, thank you for coming over. I really appreciate that. Narrative. Yeah, she's a troll, but guess what? You know how we deal with trolls over here. Once they get too out of control, now we're going to get rid of you. So if she's a troll, if she says one more thing that's out of line, get rid of her forever. Period. No questions asked. What do you mean by that, Jeff? Let me see. Kelly, what's going on, Kelly? I don't think he does, Cartel. At this point, he's getting run over and his hands are tied, not giving him an out. Look, I'm going to say this again. I don't think that, I got to be honest with you all. I don't think that Brandon Johnson is completely the fault here. I think he's a contributor because he is mayor and black people have been pleading with him as well. But I think this is also the fault of not only the Joe Biden administration, but I think it's also the fault of a Chicago making themselves a sanctuary city when they already have issues with the residents that are citizens that live there today, that they are obligated and that they have responsibility for helping. And now you bring in an influx of people from another country that we don't know where the hell exactly they got going on in their background. You mix them in and you shove them into the black community, which is already struggling for resources. And now you're giving this group all these resources and someone's making money off of it. Brandon Johnson has to be held accountable for whatever part he's playing, and right? But we know at the same time that the Biden administration, because it's the same thing that Adams is going through in New York, the Biden administration under the Democratic leadership, they're not doing anything at the federal government level to give black people in Chicago relief from this shit, or even in New York. I want to remind you all of something, because we don't have many friends. We got many enemies. Remember, I reported on this story, what was it, a year ago in Los Angeles, caught on audio. You have 3 people here of the Hispanic or Latinx community in Chicago that are on the board, the Los Angeles City Council board. They got caught on videotape talking about black people like a dog. Remember, I reported that? We have no friends, y'all. They were on there talking about the black community, talking about how they got the numbers, they got the votes, and we can do this A, B, and C. They were on there talking about a black child, damn near calling a black child, or damn near dead, or did call a black child a monkey. It was her on the far right. They got caught on video, had the audacity to think that they could just stay on that damn board. This is in Los Angeles. There's no black and brown coalition whatsoever.
Tell the truth.
They down there in Los Angeles doing all kind of things to impact black folks. Now I want you all to see this last video I have today, which is going to get us to a conclusion of the broadcast. And let me put this super chat that the brother left me. Jeff Johnson 357 gave me a $5 super chat. I thank you, my brother.
Thank you for the super chat.
Thank you for the super chat. Jeff Johnson 3457. There's no path to citizenship, just a warehousing future voters base for the Democrats, the black vote. Interesting. Let me see right here. We got, I thank you for that super chat, my brother. That super chat, I thank you. Fierce for reading. Fiercely for reading says, then I heard that Biden is telling banks that if they don't give the migrants loans that they will be fined. What? I haven't heard that. I haven't heard that one. That one is crazy. Brother Rob says Mayor Johnson has the votes and still can't get anything done for black people. Ain't that a damn shame?
Tell the truth.
We got my man Von Bryant coming in saying like and share. Yeah, definitely like and share, everybody.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
Let's do a write-in Minister Louis Farrakhan. Right on, right on, right on, right on. Narratives and dialogue. What's up, my brother? I see you in the chat room. Golden Melanin says narratives and dialogue. This is exactly why we need to raise up our own politicians and groom them with our agenda for our agenda in mind. Now, I agree with that. I wholeheartedly agree with that. Let me read what Narratives and Dialogue had to say. Narratives and Dialogue said this: they do it in Los Angeles a lot, not so much in San Francisco or Oakland, but there are ones who are hidden in small towns like Dixon. And, oh, I'm very familiar about that, Dixon. Oh, yeah, brother. You're absolutely right. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Let me go ahead and do this for the super chat purposes because I appreciate y'all. Here we go. And I appreciate Jeff, Brother Jeff, for giving that super chat.
Thank you for the super chat.
Tell them run it all. I wake up.
Deborah Guns, thank you for the super chat.
I wake up, flex, thumb down now, check, no drip this, wet. Tell them run it all. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell them run it off. I wake up, flex, thumb down now, check. No drip this, wet. Tell them run it off. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell them run it off. 9 out of 10 roll through my hands, I'm by my lonely. Turned to a savage, now my baby wants to hold me. I love my fans, don't need no friends, I got my homies. Thought I could trust you, I find out you tried to zone me. I'm number one up on that court, I'm Nick McGrady. The first one in, the last one out, can't call me lazy. Put in my hours, send the invoice and they pay me. I need 6 rings like MJ and Tom Brady. I wake up, flex, thumb down now, check. No drip this, wet. Tell them run it off. No sleep, no rest. Might crash.
Tell the truth.
I want to thank you for the super chats. I really appreciate that. Now, this is the video that I want you to pay attention to. It's very important because I said that what's happening is that black people are getting very frustrated and very impatient with the Democratic Party. And I think that Joe Biden and the Democratic politicians, I think they're in a lot of trouble with the black community right now. I think people are getting fed up. And as a result, I think you're going to see a dip in the voting, in black people voting for Joe Biden, if they even vote at all. And there's something going on in Milwaukee, which has a large black population that was responsible for putting Joe Biden over the top in his last election when he became president for these 4 years that he's going into now. It was Milwaukee. You have segments of black people in certain cities around this country that can make the big difference, but they say that it's dipping and it's a problem. And when you do the things that they're doing, when the Democrat-run cities are doing the things that they're doing, like in Chicago, undervaluing the black people that are already there, that are citizens. And when you, as an administration, under Joe Biden, the Democrats do nothing to help these cities deal with this issue. They got money for the Ukraine. They got money. They're going to have a money package for what's happening over in Israel. As if Israel is a poor country. They're not poor over there. They're not a poor country. It's a country. They got a standing army. They got resources. But they're going to raise money for Israel. They're going to raise money for the Ukrainians. But Joe Biden's administration can't even raise money to help these Democratic-run cities deal with this migrant situation. That's a damn shame.
Tell the truth.
And as a result of that, this is what's possibly coming down the pipeline. Let's listen to this one right here, folks. This one's going to really, really, really check this out.
Now we have a year to the election. The Biden campaign says there's plenty of time to turn it around. But remember how important black voters were. They rescued his campaign in the primaries in South Carolina. He won more than 9 in 10 black votes. And in just about every of the big battleground states, that constituency is a foundational element of his coalition. And watch this. Come to the streets of Milwaukee with us. He has a giant problem.
Tell the truth.
Did you hear what he said? The black vote has been the foundation of Democrats for a long time. And it was a foundation of how Joe Biden, sleepy Joe Biden, Jim Crow Biden, okay, of what he was able to do when he got into office. But there's a problem in the streets of Milwaukee, y'all. Check this out.
9 in 10 black votes. And in just about every of the big battleground states, that constituency is a foundational element of his coalition. And watch this. Come to the streets of Milwaukee with us. He has a giant problem.
Devontae Johnson is a foot soldier for democracy in one of its most crucial battlegrounds.
Hello, I'm Devontae for Black Leaders Organizing for Community.
This stop is encouraging.
I'm so happy that it's a black man out here that's going from door to door.
She's a tough one.
Fellow organizer Des Woods, though, gets the response far more common these days.
I don't want to talk about the election.
Woods is trained to keep trying.
So are you not a voter?
When I want to, and right now I don't want to.
The predominantly black neighborhoods on Milwaukee's north side can look and feel forgotten.
One of the main things you care about.
The canvassers meet often and share what they are hearing. Good-paying jobs are scarce. Rent is up. The streets used to be cleaner and safer.
Do y'all hear people say, ain't nothing happening, it won't affect us? Raise your hand. Raise your hand.
That's all they be saying is like, ain't no change.
Wow.
So we see all these other areas.
Block founder Angela Lang outlines this week's agenda and next November's stakes.
There's no way to win a statewide election that doesn't run through the black community. What happens in Milwaukee can impact the rest of the state, which ultimately can impact the rest of the country. No pressure.
The president was last here in August for a green energy event, and this old industrial site is being cleaned up with Biden infrastructure money.
Putting in the work for Black America.
But early spending on radio and TV ads targeting black voters is proof the campaign sees the problem. Those ads don't mention one issue critical here.
Now, I want to stop it right there. Did
Tell
you hear
the truth.
What they just said? That Joe Biden and the Democrats are running ads to target the black community. Even though they didn't target us at all throughout his 4 years when he got in office, there was nothing that was favoring towards us. But now that it's election time, now they want to go to black radio. When's the last time you've heard Joe Biden on black radio since he got in office way back when? Since he's been in office damn near these 4 years or going into 4 years, he has not been on any black radio to talk to any black radio host like a Joe Madison on Sirius XM or any of these black radio hosts to address our issues, right? But now all of a sudden it's going to be election time, and now Joe Biden and his administration and Kamala Harris, I guarantee you they'll have Kamala Harris running around to every black radio station bumping her gums, and Joe Biden will bump his gums to convince us to vote for him and what have you. But yet, like they said, on those ads that are currently out right now, in the ads, Joe Biden is not addressing what is he doing for us. There's no address about what's happening to black people currently. I just want y'all to get that. Let me play this again.
The president was last here in August for a green energy event, and this old industrial site is being cleaned up with Biden infrastructure money.
Putting in the work for Black America.
But early spending on radio and TV ads targeting black voters is proof the campaign sees the problem. Those ads don't mention one issue critical here.
People are wondering, what is he doing in terms of police accountability and criminal justice reform?
Lang also says the president better show up more.
People always want to see people actually paying attention, and sometimes that means being able to physically be here and engage.
Black turnout soared here in the Obama years, but it dropped in 2016 and was flat in 2020.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you grade the Joe Biden presidency in terms of its impact on your life and your community?
A 4.
People in general, I think, tend to be pretty loyal to the Democratic Party. And sometimes I wonder, just based on how that party has performed thus far for people of color, if we should continue.
Right now, let's stop it right there. Folks, do me a favor.
Tell the truth.
We got to get away from this people of color stuff. The sister, she looks like she might be a millennial, young, but we got to get away from that term. This isn't about people of color. This is about black people. This is about what's happening to black people. This is about what black people are going to do with their vote, potentially. This ain't about people of color, and we're not people of color. When you say that, you're lumping everybody in, because there's some people of color in this country that are getting their just desserts. Black people are getting nothing. So we got to get away, because the people of color term is a word that the Democrats use as well as the Republicans use, as they use it as a political tool when they don't want to address issues that specifically speak to black people. So when you ask them about reparations, when you ask them about something that's specific to us, then they get into this people of color stuff. They get into this marginalized people talk. These are all games and code words that they use to never really address our issues, okay?
Tell the truth.
So all due respect to the sister on here, I just hate when we use that term. That's a term that we should get away from and recognize that it ain't nothing but a political term that both political parties use when they don't really want to specifically talk about what they're going to do for us, not what they're going to do for some people of color. No, I'm not people of color. Let's get back.
Jones is no Trump fan, but he thinks it's foolish to bet on Trump motivating black turnout.
I get people saying they're not going to vote. That's my fear, that if they see those two and they're going to say, screw it, we're damned anyways.
If you're Joe Biden and you want to be reelected, he'd have a problem today, right?
Yes, he will. He'll have a big problem.
Johnson's work could...
Did you hear what the young man just said? That he would have a big problem if the election was today, Joe Biden. Narratives and Dialogue says when he was on the Breakfast Club talking, I brought that up early on in the show, Narratives and Dialogue. He was talking that you ain't black enough. We're talking about Joe Biden, that you ain't black enough if you don't vote for him. He's full of it. I laugh at Joe Biden right now. That's what I do. I laugh at you. That's some nonsense. We ain't that. I never liked when he said that, and I think black people should have been even more harder on him for making that kind of goofy statement, Narratives and Dialogue. But listen to what this brother said. This brother is a guy who goes out and he canvass. He tries to get people to register. He tries to see what the beat of the political, how motivated black people are in the community based on whether they want to register. He's getting data, and he's saying that if the election was today for the 2024 election, Joe Biden would be in a lot of trouble. Let's hear what he says right here.
And they're going to say, screw it, we're damned anyways.
If you're Joe Biden and you want to be reelected, he'd have a problem today, right?
Yes, he will. He'll have a big problem.
Johnson.
He said, yes, he would. He would have a big problem if the election was today based on what he's seeing in the community of Milwaukee. Now, Milwaukee's not the only place this is happening. We're seeing this in many parts of black America, where there are segments of black people who are just fed up and tired of being fed up with the Democratic Party in terms of what have the Democratic Party done tangibly. See, this is what the Democratic Party normally does. And all politicians do this, both the Republicans and Democrats. They will say, well, I created this program that will help all Americans. So they want to get it. When it comes to black people, they want to give us trickle down politics. So that if they help this group, if they come up with something that's going to help all Americans, somehow, see, this program is designed to help all Americans, so we lifted black people up too. But they never want to tailor anything specific to us. And when we ask for something specific, they say, we got to have a study. They ain't have a study to give money to the Ukraine, and they damn sure ain't having no study to give money to Israel. But when it comes to black people and our reparations and what happened to us, our ancestors, those years ago, those decades ago, those centuries ago, they don't want to talk about it. They want to say, we're going to have a study. And the Congressional Black Caucus right now has done nothing with the study. What have those Negroes done right now with the study? Where's the reports? What's the update? You see the game that they play on us? Let's get back.
Work could well help the president. But listen.
If it were just Biden and Trump, who'd you vote for?
That's just a tough one.
A young man who says the country needs big change. Determined to boost Milwaukee's black turnout, yet not sure who gets his vote.
Tell the truth.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm coming to the end of my presentation today. I hope that you all got something out of this, that it is more food for thought. Do me the greatest favor and put 7s in the chat room if you have gotten something of value out of this presentation, out of this today. I must give kudos and respect to Brother Phil. We knew him as Phil of the Advice Show because he inspired me to do this. He did this very thing on his podcast where he played some of the videos that I played. So shout out to him. But I felt like, hey, I want to bring this to my audience as well. And I also want to put my flavor on it because we all have a different perspective on how we see this, right? You have a different perspective on how you see this. I see it. But I think we're all on the same page that something's going to give in this upcoming election. I could see the Biden administration and Kamala Harris, I could see them losing this election based on the fact that black people are sick and tired. And then, of course, other people are upset because we've had inflation. Shit is getting more expensive. There's food is more expensive. Bacon and eggs is more expensive. Meat is expensive. Everything is more and more and more expensive. People are paying more for rent and mortgages and for food and basic necessities of life. And wages are stagnant. These corporations, this is why you can't trust the Republicans too, because these corporations don't want to pay their workers. These corporations are ripping us off. And the Republican Klan is their main supporter. The Republican Klan is a main pusher of these corporations that are trying to rip me and you off. See, we're in a trick bag here, folks, because both the Democrats, both the Democrats and the Republican Klan, they both play games to make you think that they're enemies. They're the same bird of two wings, one left, one right, but they screw us in the end. Just keep that in mind. I want to thank everybody in the chat room for coming out today, being a part of this. We got the Fiercely for Reading says this, plus the stuff that, let me put this up here. She says, plus the stuff that's going on in Gaza, the Dems. Yeah, it's just everything that's happening right now is crazy, y'all. Thank you, Golden Melanin. I got to give you a clap. Thank you, my sister, for coming over and supporting the channel as always. So glad I was able to catch it tonight. Thank you for all you do. Oh, thank you for all you do too. And we're going to keep this whole thing rolling and going, as much as possible. Oh, Lisa says what? What's going on, my sister? She says, amen.
Tell the truth.
We got Mo, who says black anti the only demographic. Blacks ain't the only demographic in the union. You must have came into the video late. We know that black people are not the only demographic in America, but we're talking about what's happening to black people, particularly in cities like Chicago, New York, as it relates to this migrant situation in which black people are being overlooked in these states, in these cities, that they have put these Democratic leaders in office, giving them their votes, giving them their support. So when you say, well, black people are not that's a dumb thing to say when we already obviously know that. I'm just keeping it real with you. You can take it as you want. We already know that black people are not the only people, but I'm not talking about every goddamn body else today. I'm talking about what's happening to black folks. And if you don't like that, you know what you can do? You can do nothing. Hey, my man, the guy from Texas. What's going on, my man? Peace to you. Much respect. Yeah, thank you, Von Bryant. That's a good brother right there. Brother Bryant, who's putting the podcast and all the other materials from different stuff that I have. That's a good brother right there. I want to thank you. And to make sure y'all subscribe to my man, Narratives and Dialogue. That brother got great content. He needs more support over there. Give him a subscribership. That's Narratives and Dialogue. Y'all see him in the chat room right now. He do good work over there when he does drop videos or when he drops his shorts. Give him support. Brother's great. That's my brother. Black people, stop lobbying for those who do not go as hard for you as you for the right, brother. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, if nobody's going hard for you, send Mo to bed. Yeah, Mo came in here with some BS. Well, I mean, come on. See, this is the thing everybody check this out. This is a case point right here. Why is it when black people when we have a conversation about our issues, what's happening to us, what we inspire to, what we want, what we desire, why is it that people feel uncomfortable when we talk about things that relate to what's happening to us and what we desire? Everybody has a problem with that, right? But when other groups of people get together and talk about what's important to their community, there's no problem. That's called being unified as a community. When we do it, it's called, well, you know, black people are not the only demographic in America. You dummy. We know that. And we also know that black people are responsible for building this country. And we also know that other ethnic groups did not have the ability to come over here until black people, what did our ancestors do? They had civil rights that they laid down. You had black people that made it possible for many other immigrants to come over here through the civil rights movement. We laid the foundation for many things. So when you say we're not the only demographic of people, wait a minute. Some of these people wouldn't even be over here if it wasn't for us. And some of these people wouldn't be walking down these nice roads and walking down these streets safely if it wasn't for our ancestors fighting for civil rights, which other groups benefit from. The gay community, what do they have? They're benefiting from civil rights. These other ethnic groups of people who come over here, they're benefiting from the civil rights laws that were put in place that were mainly, as Claude Anderson says, these laws were specifically tailored for black people originally. Nobody wants to deal with that. Thank you for the super chat too. Larry, anything? Let me go in here and pull you up, brother. What's going on, Rico Bazaar? The guy from Texas. And let me pull up my man right here. Larry's Anything Goes LLC, $10 super chat. No economic tangibles, no vote. We live in a country where it's all about access to capital. That's right.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
Thank you for the super
Thank you
chat.
for the super chat. Brother, you are so right. And as a result of that, here you go.
Thank you for the super chat.
Information is power.
Thank you for the super chat.
Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
Tell the truth. Thank you again. I want to thank everybody as I get ready to conclude. Rico Bazaar Foods, check out his channel as well. Earl Owens, been rocking with me since day one. I thank all of you for coming over. Oh, Jonathan Kidd's in the house. Hey, Jonathan, is Brother Honors going live today? Because I'm about to go right over to his channel to see what he's talking about tonight. Let me know, brother, if you know if he's going live today or if he already did a live that I should watch. Jonathan Kidd says, people, what's up? Want us to just sit in a corner and take it, not on my watch. Facts.
Tell the truth.
Facts, brother. Deborah Guns, thank you for coming over whenever you have the opportunity to support the channel. I appreciate that very, very much. Once again, if you want to check out my other channel, Prime Sports Media, check that out. Subscribe to the channel and what I do over there. The Information Man Speaks podcast. I haven't done anything over there on that channel in some time, but I definitely will be doing something soon. Also, the radio style podcast that I broadcast out of Spreaker will be loading or will be going live with the radio style podcast, which is on which you can hear on Spotify, Spreaker, and all of that. I need to drop new and fresh content over there. I got old content over there that I got to refresh. So I thank you for those of you who actually check me out on Spreaker, check me out on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. You can find Information Man Speaks podcasts over there, and I'm going to be dropping new, fresh content. Maybe I might do a fresh podcast tonight, later on tonight, and drop that over there, go live over there. So thank you for those that are supporting the show. And look, I love you. There again, we have this sister right here, MZ Kim, Bling, Bar, and more. Remember, I told you for ladies in the chat room, she's got a beautiful channel, sells beautiful jewelry, necklaces, all sorts of things. Check her out. She's very professional in the way she presents the merchandise. Empress Goddess, make sure you check out Empress Goddess channel. Make sure you write each other's name down as you come through this chat room over the weeks that I go live or that I upload videos. And make sure that you check each other out. So support is very important for all of us to have support for one another, because some of you in this chat room probably go live on your channels, or you may do uploaded material. Once again, narratives and dialogue, you definitely have to connect with that brother. He is the truth. He is the real, very professional videos that he produces and uploads and puts a lot of work into, and need to get more support. Rico Bazaar Foods. Make sure you check out Rico Bazaar Foods channel as well, as he is a very good brother as well and does great things on his channel. So with that said, folks, I got to get out of here. I got a few things I need to do for this evening. Trying to relax, get some food, go get my young one, the whole 9 yard, doing what a father has to do. I'll be back with more presentation. My goal is to definitely go live next Sunday, but I have another goal is to do an uploaded podcast that I can upload so that you guys can enjoy the content, some more content than what I'm putting out on this channel. I know I do once a week, and I'm sure most of you are saying, hey, Info needs to put out more content. And I know some of you are thinking that, and I need to do that. Another thing too, I'm noticing that people are enjoying the stuff that I'm putting in the community tab, some of the history material. I'm going to continue to really increase the volume of dropping things in the community tab for you all to enjoy. So keep that in mind. I will be dropping. So you definitely want to check the community tab as much as possible, because I'm going to keep dropping more content in the community tab. And I also will be dropping the radio style podcast links as well in the community tab for you to check out as well. Thank you, everybody. Y'all have a great night. It's been great. What can I say? You guys are the best. You ladies and gentlemen, the ladies and the gentlemen in the chat room, you guys give me fantastic support. So thank you. Take care.
Tell the truth.
Peace. Peace.
Tell the truth.